To the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess, and we're going to be talking about some thrifty fun today, and we're going to be talking about my diabetes journey, some collaborations that are going on that I have going on, and a couple of thrifty finds. Haven't done a thrifty fun in a while, and a matter of fact, we didn't do much discount grocery shopping in February. We really didn't need much, but I did pull out some items out of my refrigerator, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my diet and things that are happening around our neck of the woods. Welcome in the Bud File. So glad to see you in the house. Y'all make sure you're hitting those thumbs up and sharing this out on social media, because that always helps, and we'll get this live going here. So I'm going to start by telling you that we have Frugal Living Challenge 25 happening the entire year from my channel. It is an open collaboration, so that means that you can join in. And all you have to do is use the hashtag Frugal Living Challenge 25, attach, do the Anderson, the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch, that's tagging my channel, and using the official playlist in your description box. And it could be any number of things. Frugal living is different for everybody, but you may have some frugal ideas and tips that somebody else may not even know about. So that's why we're doing this for a year-long collaboration. Plus, it's something that is all about our channel. So that's one of the things that we're going to be doing here in the future. I am planning my 2K giveaway for April Fool's Day, April 1st at 10 a.m. So we're going to get that on the schedule and get that uploaded so y'all will know that that's upcoming. I do have some kitchen items that I'll be giving away. This month we have March into Canning 25, which is all about canning, preserving foods. It could be dehydration canning, doing up your dry goods in jars. It could be any number of things. It could be talking about canning in particular. It could be going into your pantry, etc., and showing how you stockpile for your family. Even if you don't can with hot water baths or pressure canners, you can still join in this, because canned goods is canned. So there you go. But it's all about getting that pantry ready for the garden season, getting stuff out of our freezers, and being prepared for what will be coming in this year. And again, all of my collaborations, I ask you to use the hashtags, tag my channel, and use the official playlist in each one of those. Next month is April, and we're going to be doing a Spring Clean 25. And again, it's going to be hosted by me. It's going to be month-long, and you can join in with that. You may have a special cleaning hack that you want to share, or you may want to just share spring cleaning, how you spring clean and how you freshen your house up for the new season that's coming in. So we've talked about all of those, and I am looking forward to seeing more people join in all of these collaborations. I do open collaborations for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to allow all channels the opportunity to join in. I don't pressure anybody into joining my collaborations. I don't want to do the closed collaborations too often. I did do one this year, did not have much success with it, and so I may not do those again. Hello, Kim Burris, welcome in. So glad that you're here. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a couple of products that I'm using. One of them is chia seed. We went to the Amish store, and I buy my chia seed there. This container is 0.310 pounds. It's $11.44 a pound, and we paid $3.55 for this, but I did buy several because my jar is getting empty. So I wanted to make sure that I had enough to fill my jar back up. And one of the other products that I'm incorporating into my diabetes journey is brown flaxseed. Let me get it over here. My lid's come loose on my container. Don't want it popping over. But I use flaxseed, and flaxseed gives you gas. If anybody's been around anybody that's been eating flaxseed, you know that it causes a lot of gas and discomfort. So you want to increase it in your diet slowly. You want to get it up to about a tablespoon a day of this, and about 2 tablespoons of your chia seed a day. And I wouldn't go past that amount, because you don't want to bind up your intestinal tract and everything and cause other issues that you don't want. So this will help a lot with my journey. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that in a moment. Another item we picked up was some spicy pickling spice that was marked half off. Most of you already know that your spices don't go bad if they're stored properly. This was 0.260 pounds. It was $19.26 a pound. The original price on it was $5.01, so we paid $2.50. Say thereabouts $2.50 for this. And I'll get that jarred up and get that into my spice cabinet, and I'll have it for pickling season. I don't know if I'm going to be doing any pickles this year or not. I still got a lot of pickles in my pantry to work through. I was hoping to be able to do some salsa this year. I still got a lot of salsa to work through. I've got a lot of chow chow in there still to work through, so I don't know if I'll be canning any of those items this year. Also at Ada's, I like to go to their nuts. I eat a lot of nuts because they're very healthy for you, and they don't mess with your carbs, or they don't mess with your blood sugar. So walnut halves and pieces combo, this is 0.61 pounds, $7.33 a pound. We paid $4.47 for that. A lot higher in the stores, y'all, the regular grocery stores, and this is a very good product. And I believe it's a brain food, because if you pull a walnut out, it kind of looks like your brain when you take it out of the shell. So it's a brain food as well. And then I picked up some mixed nuts. I usually have sliced almonds on hand. I also have sunflower seeds, or raw sunflower seeds, or raw pumpkin seeds. Either one of those are really good and healthy for me. And then I have this roasted and salted mixed nuts with peanuts. This is 0.580 pounds. It's $6.36 a pound. Paid $3.69 for that. And y'all, these are so expensive in the grocery stores, even in Aldi's. I couldn't believe. And I normally get my sliced almonds either at Walmart or at Aldi's. Aldi's isn't sliced, but they have smaller pieces, because I do have bad teeth, and so I try to be careful with my teeth. Hey, All Things Pink and Possible, welcome in. Hey, Living My Best at 60, Miss Echo, welcome in. I'm so glad that y'all are here. So these are foods that I'm using for my diabetes. This is almond flour. Natural extra fine almond flour is 1.395 pounds, $5.50 a pound. So I paid $7.67 for this. This comes in so handy because I can make breads with this. So many things I can do with almond flour that I would never in a million years imagine that I'd be doing today. And so I pretty much replaced white flour in my house, even though I still make biscuits for my husband and things like that. But I use this for the keto diet, and I use coconut flour, and I've got another flour in there I forgot to pull out. And then I use allulose sweetener. I've shown y'all that before. I use the monk fruit sweetener, and what else? There's something to thicken. I can't remember the name of it, but anyway, those are things that I'm using right now. I'll come back on another video and try to remember to share those with you. Other items I'm using for the diabetic diet are cottage cheese. I like this brand. It does have some things in there that I cannot pronounce, but I do like this brand of cottage cheese, so I use that. And I can do so many things with this. I can make something sweet, savory, just any number of things with cottage cheese, and you don't know that it's in there. For those that don't like cottage cheese, you don't know it's in there. We do use a lot of cheese in our house. So here is another one from that same brand. We do use this cream cheese. And y'all, this is better than the brand name that we are normally using to my taste, because it has less ingredients in there. If you read the back of the package, you see a long list of ingredients. You want to stay away from those products because they usually contain things that are not any good for us. And thankfully, our government is going to do something about the American food and get a lot of this poison out of our foods so it doesn't go into our system. I also buy a lot of block cheese. I don't buy soft American cheese. It's not healthy for you, but I do buy the block cheeses because, again, the ingredient list is very short. And when you buy this shredded, they've added ingredients to it. Did y'all know that? That is not healthy to you, that will cause hormonal changes and all kinds of things in your body. So I do buy a lot of cheeses and varieties. I've got Munster, extra sharp cheddar, pepper jack, and Swiss right now in our house. Hey, Smoky Mountain Bless, thank you for coming in. We also do a lot of the Greek yogurt. I love Greek yogurt because it has your probiotics in it, and you want to look for a brand that has just the pasture cultured milk as the ingredient, and that's what this one has right there on your label. It's and you look for grade A and you look for high protein, and this I use a lot of times for breakfast foods, but I can use it in many different things, including protein shakes. And then when I can't run out of that, I will turn to good old sour cream, because again, it's going to give you probiotics because it's cultured. It's a cultured cream. It says ingredients: cultured cream enzyme, contains milk. That's all of the ingredients there. So these are some of the things that I'm doing for the diabetic keto, paleo type diet. And we have the BB Red Bantam eggs, and they're little. And we get a lot of them, so y'all, I'm pickling those. This one still has the weight in it. Y'all see how pretty they look? And then this one we've already dug into. And I can eat a couple of these, sit down. If I get hungry, I can turn to these. I'm getting protein and 0 carbs. So this is a go-to for a lot of meals or just for a snack. And so I'm going to be keeping these in my refrigerator because we get so many of them from our BB Reds. Now we're going to get into the Thrifty fun. I'm so excited, y'all. I'm very excited. Now this is not a pure olive oil. I can tell you that off the front end, because if it's a pure olive oil, it's going to come from one country of origin, and it's usually Italy or Spain or something like this one. But this one is packed in Spain and contains oil from one or more, and you notice they didn't say olive oil. Countries: Greece, Italy, Morocco, Portugal, Spain, Turkey, Tunisia, and it's imported. And it says $6.49 public sticker on there, but we paid $2.99, and I went ahead and picked up all they had at the discount grocery because I haven't had any olive oil in my house for several months now. I ran out, and I refused to pay the exorbitant prices that they're charging, so I picked up 3 of these. There's the 3rd bottle here. Never used this brand, so we're going to try it out and see if we like it. That's at our local discount grocery. Let's see. Then I picked up some Cento organic tomato paste. Now, I've never used this particular brand either in the tube. So there's the tube that goes in here. Picked this up for 49 cents, y'all. And it has 4.56 ounces per tube. And looking for the ingredients on here. You do have to refrigerate this after opening, and it's good for 30 to 45 days. It's a product of Italy. Ingredients: organic tomato paste and salt. So Cento is a good brand if you're looking to get rid of all of that junk that we find in all of our tomato paste that's on the shelves. And I picked up 2 tubes of that. The boxes are banged up, but the tubes are in good shape. So I was thrilled to get it. There's the other one. I'll probably throw the boxes away and just put the tubes on the shelf. I don't pick up tomatoes very often, but I did pick up some Pastine tomato puree. They had these for 99 cents. Now, these are, the dented cans. They have small dents in them. Again, ingredients: tomato pulp. That's all that's in here. So you want to look for those. So Pastine is a good brand to buy. We paid 99 cents for that. And it's a 1 pound 12-ounce can, or a 28-ounce can, however you want to look at it. But I'm thinking, I might be making some sauce that I want to can, maybe pizza sauce or spaghetti sauce or something like that. And I don't want to can it with sugars or added anything. And this is another brand that I picked up. Now, this one does have a little bit of a dent up here, and I will be opening these up very soon. Same size can. It is the Cento brand. And so, again, ingredients are vine-ripened crushed tomatoes. Right there on the label, 99 cents. I didn't pick up any more because the cans were some of them were really bad. So if it's got a small dent, it's okay, as long as the integrity of the lip up here or the bottom is still intact, and the seam on the can is still intact. Your food is going to be okay. But when you get those cans that have the real deep gash bent in there, it's a possibility that you may have a bad product. So I always look at my cans really well before I purchase them from the discount grocery. One other item to show you, and I picked up 5 bags. I'm not going to hold them all up, but this is Pascha dairy-free organic white 100% plant-based vegan organic white baking chips, Mind Body chocolate fix, net weight 7.1 ounce, and it is certified vegan, USDA organic. It's got the cocoa seal on it. It's got a couple of other seals on it. We paid 79 cents a bag for that. This contains, let me find it, organic cocoa butter, organic cane sugar, organic tapioca starch, organic rice syrup solids, organic rice maltodextrin, organic vanilla, and salt. This is a Rainforest Alliance certified product. The carbs on this is 7 grams of carbs, and that would be for a tablespoon. And so this is allowable for me. I prefer the semi-sweet dark chocolate, but in a fix, I'll still have my chocolate fix. and I don't use more than a tablespoon. This also contains no peanuts, no nuts, no gluten, no egg, no wheat, no soy, no dairy, and no emulsifiers. So if y'all find those on your store shelves, they might be worth purchasing. Last two items for today. This is going by really quick. A mini colander, y'all. Look at this little mini colander. We picked this up at a thrift store for $6. Not thrift store, antique mall. $6 for that. And I thought that will work. My husband was showing me several kitchen gadgets that they had in there, but this one was stainless steel, which I always look for, and it's quality. It's not going to bend or anything. So when I don't need the great big colander, I can pull this out and use it. I think it's great. This would come in handy for like when I'm straining off my honey, get that onion off my honey. Hello, Dreamland Soundscapes. Welcome in. So glad that you're here. So $6 for that. That's a great buy, y'all. We did pick up an oil lamp. Y'all, oil lamps are ridiculously high when you go to the antique stores now. $45 to $75 and sometimes even higher than that. I've seen them up to $200 a piece. But this one came with the oil in it. It's got the wrong globe on it, but it's still usable with this globe. Paid $10 for it. That's all they wanted was $10. And there is absolutely nothing wrong that we could find other than the globe is not the right globe to go with. So we've got another oil lamp to go in our collection, and that is an emergency heat source and light source if the power goes out for an extended amount of time. I have my dad's oil lamp that he read by as a child. My dad grew up in a log cabin that didn't have running water or electricity, and I think they put the electricity in the 1970s, if I remember, and it was just a single bulb hanging in the middle of the room. And they still had the well. They had a well outside the kitchen, but they had to cover that one up when it went dry, and they drilled one across the road, which is still part of my grandfather's land. Right there on the corner of that road there is a well that my granddaddy dug. Yeah, Aldi is a grocery store. We have it's from the UK, but they have a lot of good products in there. I don't always agree with their political stance. At one point they were talking about they were going to put nobody in there but transgenders, and I was like, well, if you do that, I won't be shopping there anymore because that goes against my moral character. And but they did not do that, so I'm thankful for that. No, most of these items came from either Ada's Country Store, which is a Mennonite store in Bethel Springs, and we go there and we buy our spices in bulk there because it's cheaper and you get a better quality. And we went to a little discount grocery for the remainder of this, except for these items that I showed you back here. We go to Cash Savers for them. Sometimes I'll pick them up at Aldi's if Aldi's has them, because Aldi's is a little bit cheaper on the price, but it's a further distance. So it's really about the same price when you factor in gas and mileage on your vehicle. So all the rest of that came from the discount grocery. And my little eggs, y'all, my little BB red eggs, these are so delicious. The next time I make them, I'll put a video out on my channel. Y'all pardon me, I'm just having brain farts today. I'll put it out on my channel so y'all can see how I make these. And I asked one of the Amish ladies, because they were doing the quail eggs, and they would boil them and they would pickle them and sell them that way. And so I asked her, I said, how long do you cook them? She says, you cook them just like you cook a regular egg. So 10 minutes if you're cooking them on top of the stove, 5 minutes if you're doing it in an Instant Pot. And you want to watch, as soon as that time is off, you want to get them out of that water and get them into ice bath. Because if you overcook your eggs when you're pickling them, they get rubbery. So you don't want that to happen. So that's it. Did I say hi to Kim Burris? I think I did. Well, let's see. I do have a couple of items over here. I don't think I've shared these with you, but I did pick these up a while back. Evaporated milk. This is just a Publix brand. Was 79 cents, and there was no damage to the can whatsoever. And again, I read the ingredients on everything, y'all. My husband has started reading the ingredients on everything as well, because he knows I won't eat it. I'll throw it in the trash if it's got a long list of ingredients, because I know it's not healthy for us. And y'all, I can't walk into a grocery store and look at all the aisles of food that is garbage. I just can't. And I also picked up some decaffeinated English tea, because every once in a while I may want a glass of iced tea, and I drink it with no sugar in it, or I drink it with monk fruit sweetener in it. We cut our sugar back long before the diabetes came along, but I was making a gallon of tea with a cup of sugar for years and years and years, and then I cut it back to 3/4 cup, got it down to 1/2 cup. My husband was able to drink it like that, and then now he goes into his restaurant and he'll ask for 1/2 and 1/2 tea, more unsweetened than sweetened, because y'all, they put a 5-gallon or 5-pound bag of sugar into the tea. That's what keeps people going back for their sweet tea, because it's too sweet. It's like drinking syrup. So we paid $1.99 for this, and it has 50 bags, or it makes 50 cups of tea. So, and we don't drink it that often. My husband developed a cough from drinking too much tea. Can y'all believe that? Let's see. I eat bananas. Now, bananas are not considered a diabetic friendly fruit, but I do eat bananas because of the potassium in them. Most diabetics are struggling with potassium and magnesium levels. Some of them are also struggling with D3 levels, so I take a D3 supplement. And I'm pretty much staying around the same weight. I haven't really lost any more weight. I lost 1.5 pounds, and then I gained it back, so who knows? We go what we do, and we just go with the flow, because if you weigh yourself every day, it's going to fluctuate. So I try not to step on that scale too often to see where I'm at. My sugar is still running high, but from what I've been reading from other people that are diabetic on keto, they said, don't worry so much about your sugar numbers as sticking to the diet and doing the exercises, because eventually the diet is going to take care of the diabetes. It's going to lower your diabetes, because one, you cut out everything carb-wise that you possibly can, and that eventually is going to counteract what's happening in your body. My real struggle is morning sugar, and it is always around 200 when I get up in the morning, or a little below. And that is because at 3 o'clock in the morning, your body flips a switch, and your body delivers that glucose to your bloodstream, because when you wake up, you've got to have energy to move. And it's kind of a defeat mechanism if you're a diabetic, because you're constantly fighting that. So I'm doing some things that I'm trying to change what I'm eating in the evening. I'm trying to change my supplements, where my supplements are placed. So I'm taking apple cider vinegar supplements at night, and I'm also there's one other supplement. What was the name of it? Oh, the key lime cinnamon. I was reading online and it says to do those at night. So that did help lower my morning sugar numbers a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. And I think with the diet and the exercise and getting out and walking when it's pretty outside, I can go out and walk, is going to really help me. Now, my body is changing. I have the fat rolls are starting to really show because I'm dropping the weight. And so that's one of the issues that you have to deal with when you drop a lot of weight. And I've lost 75, 76, about 77 pounds total. Hey, Alfonso, welcome in. I got to go back and read. Let me see. Do you eat protein before bed? Yes, I do. And that's why I've got these out. I've got eggs out. I can eat that, or I can eat something that's high protein. I do eat more protein. I had issues when I was on all the diabetic prescription medications, and textures was one of my big issues, and meat texture was just awful for me. But now I can eat it, and I can eat as much as I want. But I try to still keep it portion, you got to do the portion control. So I still try to do portion control, but I do a larger portion on certain meats. I don't do eggs for breakfast except for on the weekend. And that's because when we go do all our errands, we go and we stop somewhere and we get breakfast. And I'm getting really cranky with these restaurants that don't have keto-friendly meals. And I keep telling them, this is the wave of the future. You need to catch on, because more and more people are going to be going this direction to try to get you to try to lose weight and get their diabetes under control. And doing it without medication when you're a diabetic, is an uphill fight. I'm not going to lie to you. I deal with polyneuropathy. I have polyneuropathy in my lower legs and feet. And so I started taking cayenne pepper, the little caplet. I take one of those at night. Really does help me with the leg issues. And I was having cramps in my feet. I've had muscle cramps in my legs, the Charlie horses. All that is diabetes, y'all. When you start having those muscle cramps, it's because your body is low on the potassium or the magnesium or both, and you're diabetic. Just saying. It's crazy. It really is crazy. I am working on my strawberry vinegar. I'm about halfway through. I think Wednesday or Thursday I'm going to check the pH on it and then strain off the strawberries if it's close enough to the 4.5 that I'm satisfied. And I'll do a video on that, and I'll bring you back for that, because I'm going to be adding some apple cider vinegar mother that is from my homemade vinegar to my strawberry vinegar to help it along. And that's what speeds up the process of it turning completely into vinegar. And those mothers can be fed to your chickens because it's very healthy for them. If you rinse them off, you can feed it to your chickens. I usually just hang on to it and put it into another batch. Let me get back down here to all my commenters. Oh, where did I go? Hey, Troy, welcome in. Hey, Misha, welcome in. So glad that y'all could join me today. I haven't done a vertical live in a while, and I said, well, I think I'm going to try one today because I didn't have a video set up. Over this past week, we had a dear lady from church pass away. She was a member of our Sunday school class, and so we fed the family after church. Our Sunday school class did, after their services. And so Sunday was just run for me. I got to church, and we went to eat lunch real quick, and then stopped at the grocery store to pick up items that other people couldn't do. because some of our Sunday school members live out of town and so forth and so on. And so I picked up some items, and then I had to go to the church and start getting this stuff ready. And it was all fresh stuff. So I did a salad, I did a fruit salad, and then we did a cookie tray. And then everybody else brought, things too. And but we were back in that kitchen from 1 o'clock till a little after 4. And I got home and I got in my chair and I was done for the day. I think I fell asleep for a while. Hey, Langley's Build a Homestead. Welcome in. I don't recognize your channel. Let me see if I can pull it up on this phone. I can't pull you up on this phone. Okay. I'll try to remember to go and check out your channel. That's one thing that we do here. And if y'all want to, you can drop the word hillbilly at any time and connect with other friends while we're doing this live. I'm a big proponent of sharing is caring, so y'all share with each other and get to know each other. Oh, brain farts are hitting me. So with the strawberry vinegar, I used the caps. You can go find my video. It's pretty recent. I washed them and put them in a clean jar, and then I added some sugar to them. I think it was a half cup for a half gallon. It was a quarter cup for a quart. And you would put in like a pint. If you're doing a quart, you would do a pint of strawberry caps, and then fill your jar up with water, stir it, put your weight on there, and of course my weights went to the bottom. It just, things happen. But if you go in there every day and you give it a stir, you want to burp it. So you give it a stir, and then you cover it back up and you put it in a dark, warm spot. And they said online to keep it at between 70 and 80 degrees. Well, it's about 65, 70 in here, so it may take a little longer for my vinegar to fully do its thing. But once it reaches that stage, you will know it because I'll have a video pop up. Hello, Indiana Backyard Gardener. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I meant to say that on the beginning of my live and I forgot to say it. Happy St. Patty's Day, everybody. I am part Irish. I have Scots Irish in me, and French and German and a little bit of everything else. I have some Welsh, Native American, Namsaman tribe, and I have a little African American in me because I do have slaves that are actually in my family tree. Not only black slaves, but Irish slaves, the indentured servants that came over. You're on your third batch of apple cider vinegar. Awesome. You got a good, healthy mother. That's wonderful. Yeah, I did put on the green. This is the only green top other than my t-shirts. And I put it on over my dress, and I said, well, this is a really nice top. I hadn't been able to wear it before, so y'all know I'm losing weight. I've had it in my closet for a while, and I said, well, maybe I'll go get a neutral colored dress and just put this over the top. And it'll look like I have a skirt and a blouse on. I don't do skirts too often. I don't like the way they fall on me because I have a big backside. Troy, you need to start a YouTube channel because, man, your cooking looks so delicious. I watch, I keep up with him on Instagram and Facebook, and he's got some great meal ideas. Really does. Trying to remember everything I wanted to talk about. I didn't write a list today. I was just said I'm going to pull this by just spitting it out. But we're going to go back over because a lot of y'all weren't in here at the beginning. I'm doing my 2K live giveaway April 1st, April Fool's Day, 10 a.m. We're going to have next month, April is going to be hashtag Spring Clean 25. It's an open collaboration for the month. And of course, you're going to tag me. You're going to use the hashtag, and you're going to use the official playlist if you join in the collaboration. And I will get you into the playlist. If you tag me right, I can find your videos. If you don't tag me right, I can't find them. YouTube is really weird. You got to use the exact tag, and you've got to use my name, and you got to use that little Anderson to find me. Right now we're doing March into Canning 25, the entire month of March. Again, you're going to use the same 3 things for all of my open collaborations. That one is to get ready for canning season and the garden season coming up. So you want to clean out your freezers. You can dehydrate, you can can dry goods, you can go find special buys at the grocery store, can it up. You can go buy canned goods at the grocery store and showcase your canned goods and how you store them. Just any number of things that has to do with canning for that one. Frugal Living Challenge 25 is a year-long collaboration. It's open. You're going to talk about ways that you save money or great buys that you get that are going to be a long-term investment. We just recently had to invest in plumbing issues. So plumbing is a big issue, and sometimes those issues pop up and you don't have the money saved, and I can't express enough how important it is to put money back for a rainy day situation. We've seen the rapid high prices. Eggs are $5 a dozen in our area. Some places it's $8 a dozen in our area still. I know some places the egg prices are going down, and I'm grateful for that. But y'all know the Pennsylvania governor has banned chickens in the state pretty much. He wants all the chickens cold because of bird flu. He wants every egg inspected, which means they have to poke a hole in your egg to see if it's viable, it's good for you to eat or not. And they're paying the high price in Pennsylvania. And this madness needs to stop because it's not being spread, apparently not being spread by all these wildlife birds. And I'm thinking they're putting it in the food source or something for, them to be culling so many chickens. They're trying to wipe out chickens completely. Let's put it that way, because they know this has always been a cheap source of protein for people, and so they're trying to get rid of this. I'm just putting it out there. Y'all can take it as you want. Yes, I've got this right here is from that frostbite. It turned into lupus, and it's still really red there. But it's also, when I was a child, I had to have my sinuses cauterized, and so I always have dark circles under my eyes anyway, but it really looks bad without makeup. You can see how bad it looks here, but you can just imagine how bad it looks without makeup. Hello, Cheryl Dalton, welcome in. Yes, it is really ridiculous. They are pulling cat food off the shelves because of bird flu, y'all. I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? How's my cat going to get bird flu unless you put it into the food to begin with? Because my cat's an indoor cat. I know there's people's cats that are outdoor cats, but he's an indoor cat. And a great mouser, by the way. Many of the senior citizens live on fixed income, including myself. My income is fixed. If I didn't have my husband, I wouldn't be able to make ends meet. And I'm going to be blunt about that. And I'm on Social Security retirement because they told me I don't qualify for Social Security that I paid into for 40 years. They've got these loopholes in place, and I'm hoping all of this gets fixed and ironed out, y'all. It's just craziness. Everything that we're dealing with right now is all man-made. Every bit of it is man-made. So we do a lot of intentional living here, more than ever. That's why we live frugally. I've always done that. My parents grew up in the Great Depression, so we live very, very frugal. Well, that's good. And I don't understand, bird flu. Well, if you can come up with vaccines for everything else, why can't you come up with a vaccine for the birds? It's just craziness. So frugal living and intentional living would be cooking from scratch. I do a lot of scratch cooking. Matter of fact, most of my cooking is scratch cooking. Learning how to stretch ingredients when you got to feed a big family. Hello, my friend. I can't read your language, but I appreciate you coming in. Becoming self-sufficient. And that is every prepper's dream, is to be self-sufficient. We don't depend on who? We don't depend on the government. We depend on ourselves. And my parents were very independent, and they grew what they could. They worked hard, and they did everything that they possibly could to provide for our family, and we never felt like we lacked anything. That was the thing. We didn't have anything, but we didn't feel like we lacked anything. Learn how to barter and trade when you can. Bartering, you might need to barter something that you can't do yourself. We've got plumbing. We're going to have to do a major plumbing underneath our house before too many more moons pass. Hello, McKay. Welcome in. So we might be able to barter some things to get that plumbing price dropped. So that's one of the things that I have on my list for the frugal living. Shop smarter. I use discount groceries. We don't shop but once a month. And we garden. We do a lot of clearance shopping, or thrift store shopping, antique store shopping, to find the items that we need, and we don't just purchase things all the time that we want. Now, the oil lamp, we didn't need it, but it is something that I collect. My husband started buying these for me soon after we got married because I had held on to my dad's oil lamp, and I forgot to tell you that oil lamp's over 100 years old now. Yes, it is. It belonged to my grandparents, and my dad would have been in his 90s if he was still living. So yeah, it's over 100 years old. If you have a lot of pets, you can look into ways to supplement their diet as well. In the wintertime, we do fodder. Well, I can do fodder in jars, where you grow the little microgreens and feed them to your chickens. You can do it all year long. You can take their feed and put it half of it into a 5-gallon bucket, fill it up with water, and let it sit for 2 or 3 days. You're giving them extra probiotics and stretching that food at the same time. And let me tell you, birds can eat. I have seen our birds go through a lot of food over the winter. Summer months, they get three scoops of food in the morning, and they get 3 at night. In the winter months, they were getting 9 scoops. This is for all the birds out there, 9 scoops. So we increase it by 3 scoops for all of our birds. And that is expensive. Let me tell you, it's expensive. Even though we have shopped around, we have found the best food for our chickens and at the best price. And we're buying it from the Amish now because we don't have to pay tax on that. When they run it as a business, so when they get the feed delivered to them, they don't get taxed and they don't pass that on to us. So that's a good thing. Alfonso, is there any way that you can raise chicken concealed? I know that HOA does not allow chickens. Not that I know of, my friend. It's pretty hard to hide a chicken because they make noise, and if you don't keep their coops clean, they're going to smell, and you're going to have to keep them in an enclosed area, and when you do that, they're more susceptible to becoming sick. Our chickens are pasture raised. We have dark yellow yolks on our eggs, and they are healthy chickens and healthy eggs. Inflation to motivation, or you can say recession to motivation now, to become self-sufficient. Because I was telling people for years before I even became a YouTuber, you need to stock your pantry. People don't understand that. Stock up what you can, a little each week. If you got $5 extra, spend $5 on a food item or a prep item and get it into your pantry. It all depends on your income. But I'm telling you, when the egg prices went through the roof, that was just a real eye-opener. I was like, thank you, Lord, for giving me chickens, because now I share my excess eggs with other people, and if they want to pay for the eggs, they're more than welcome to, but they're still getting it at a great price, because for our few customers, we never raised the price. We decided right off the front end, this is going to be a long haul for people, and it's going to get very, very hard very quick. Hello, sweet Melissa at Coastal Girls 707. Thank you for coming in. Don't be afraid to learn new skills. My husband is not a plumber, y'all, but he got in there and he eventually got that plumbing fixed. It took a little while. We had problems with parts more than anything else. He went and purchased parts, and the parts were already messed up. So we had to go to another store and find more parts, and finally got it fixed. Had a lot of water everywhere. And then we found out our little fan that we used, and we've been using for years and years, quit on us the day that we needed it to dry out the bathroom. Thankful that we have a shop vac that we can use. Yeah, we give most of our eggs to our church members. But customers, most of my customers are on fixed incomes. And when the people from church started coming to me, do you have extra eggs? Do you have extra eggs? And I said, yes, we do. And matter of fact, I had to cut off one customer that only comes around every 6 to 8 months. And I didn't want to do it, but I told her, I said, look, we have a line of customers right now. We sell out of eggs every week. And that's no lie. Sometimes we don't have eggs for ourselves. We're going to the Banny eggs because nobody wants to buy them. Hey, Gail, welcome in. And these are the cutest little eggs, y'all. We have a lot of fun with these eggs when my grandkids were coming up. We call them half eggs. And we'd put one on their plate, and they're looking at us like, Nanny, that's not enough to feed me. But they're real cute, and they'd be cute for Easter eggs as well. Speaking of Easter, how many of y'all are going to be coloring potatoes? I think I'd go out and get rocks before I'd color potatoes. Potatoes is food. I don't want to paint a potato. But I would definitely paint some rocks and make them look like eggs, or just go buy the plastic eggs and hide them for the kids. Last thing on the frugal living would be power of the homestead mindset, and that is to start small. Don't be afraid to start where you're at today if you haven't started already. Yeah, we use a lot of the small eggs, and these are so delicious, y'all. These really are good. I'm going to do this recipe. The next time I put some up, I will do a video of me making these. They have a good flavor, but the secret to pickling eggs is to not overcook your eggs and to get them cold as soon as they come out of that water, to put them in an ice bath. That helps to release the egg from the shell, and it also cools the egg down quickly so it doesn't continue to cook. These are so, so delicious. And you will know if you overcook them, because they come out rubbery. I tell you, every time they will come out rubbery. Well, y'all, we have been here for almost an hour. I do appreciate each and every one of you. I'm looking forward to the rest of the year. I'm hoping things get better for all of us. But y'all just hang in there, because God is still in control. He's still our provider. He does expect us to do our part. And our part is getting out and growing your victory garden. Y'all know I had a victory garden last year. We're going to have a garden open collaboration, And I think Gail is doing her weird container growing this year, so mine will be kind of paired with hers a little bit, and I'm pretty sure that there'll be a few other ones out there, and we'll kind of throw them all together in one video and just share out all these collaborations, because collaborations help your channel grow. I can't tell you that enough, and it's just important for us as content creators to do collaborations when we can. Don't get overwhelmed by them, but do what you can. And like I said, I'm pretty much staying away from the closed collaborations now. I just didn't feel like people would come in, they would subscribe to you, and then they would leave. And so it wasn't helping me to grow my channel. And so I decided that I'm going to do open collaborations on my channel. I tried one closed collaboration, wasn't real thrilled with how it went. So open collaborations, if you join, you join. If you don't, you don't. There's no pressure. I just hope that you will join in, because that means your channel is going to grow, and it's going to grow organically. I think that's about all that I have for today. I do so much appreciate y'all. I love you, and I thank you so much for coming in. Even after this live is over, please do me a favor, if you haven't already, go ahead and share it out, because sharing is caring. That will help other people find it, and we all have our own unique group of people that follow our channels, so that helps us to grow with each other. Be blessed, everybody, and I'll see you on the next live, which will be the April Fool's live for the 2K giveaway. Now I got to figure out how to turn this off. I haven't been on here in so long. Sorry for the finger.